Hello, friends, and welcome back to Sesh Cast. My name is GLDLX. This is Sesh Cast, a cannabis podcast for cannabis sessions. And today I'm calling a do-over, and I'm not very happy about it. Welcome back to Sesh Cast. This is just this little podcast I do where I get high and I talk about stuff. And yeah, that's how you start an episode. I am re-recording this episode. This episode is the same episode that was supposed to come out today, but is not coming out today, but is coming out today. That was a very confusing way to say this. I recorded this episode a couple days ago, and I woke up today to edit it and upload this episode and realized that all the audio was gone. And I have no idea why, but it is not in existence anymore. And that sucks a lot. Instead, I am re-recording this episode because I have to, because I leave for vacation in like 12 hours. And yeah, so not only am I re-recording the episode that is due out, today, 5 hours ago, but I am needing to re-record basically the same episode and the same topic because I pre-recorded next week's episode and I have the audio for that, but it's kind of a two-part episode between this episode and that episode, and so I don't have time to re-record both, so I have to re-record the episode that was supposed to go out today and try and remember what the hell I talked about when I was stoned as balls like a week ago. Do you see my problem? I'm not happy about this, and so I really don't know how this episode is going to go. It's going to be really interesting, and it's feeling like it's taking forever, because I just have so much other stuff to do today. Like, if I could sit and do a whole episode about all the things I need to do before it hits the, DEFCON you have to sleep level, and that is not that many hours away. Oh God, I'm panicking, and I have to stop and smoke weed. I guess this is kind of like a stop and smell the roses moment, where it's like, dude, just, slow up and smoke a little bit and chill the hell out. It's like I'm harshing my own mellow right now, but God, I just don't have the time for this. Oh, man, all right, I think I just needed to get that out. Thanks for being here for that. I'm going to go ahead and smoke some weed now, because that's what we do here. I am using my Glass Mechanic spoon, same spoon I used 2 episodes ago. That picture is already on my Instagram. Today's picture will be of something, I don't know. I gotta figure that out as soon as I'm done uploading this. But I don't know that it'll have this spoon in it or not, because I do not have time to clean it. But it's a very, 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 very pretty spoon. Just kind of a zigzaggy wigwag sort of deal going on. The color scheme is gorgeous. I'm pretty happy with the picture from this one. I had to drop a little filter and stuff on it, but the picture from 2 episodes ago I really, really like. And I think I did a good job catching the colors of this spoon. So check that out. It's on my Instagram, @SeshCast. That's where I post pictures of the glass I use for each episode. I wish so desperately that I did more on that Instagram, but I just don't have time right now. But someday I will come back to that Instagram with more vigor. Vigor I don't think is a word, but with more... I'll be more invested. I just don't have a lot of time right now. And so most of the stuff on my Instagram are the pictures and then the occasional live stream, which I got kicked off of Instagram Live today for playing music in the background. Don't know how that happened. Not very happy about it. I listen to people play music in the background of their live streams actually daily, and for some reason it kicked me off. So I don't know if the music was too loud or if I just wasn't talking enough. I was taking a hit, so I don't know. But that was weird. But I do try to Instagram Live before I do episodes, but I also try not to get kicked off Instagram. So we'll see if... we'll see what happens, and if I have to wait a little while before I stream. I don't know if I get a copyright strike or anything like that, but I'm not trying to get kicked off Instagram. Anyway, that's what I'm smoking out of. That's a little bit about my backstory, and I'm smoking on Jack Herrera today. I literally just threw some in my grinder because that's what was on top, and it's a sativa, and like I said, I've got a lot to do today, so it's got me pretty talkative, but it's not one that speeds up time. There are weeds that slow down time and weeds that speed up time. And I feel like often indicas are my slow down time. It's like you look at the clock thinking it's been 3 hours and it's been 3 minutes. And then sativas are you speed up time because you get so focused on what you're doing. You look up and you're like, oh my God, I've been doing this for 3 hours. So this sativa is just kind of right in the middle. Not a lot of like totally crazy brain things going on. Not changing my perception of time or anything. I've got all of my funky lights on in my studio right now, just so that I like kind of keep my mood up. And I don't like I said, I'm a little irritated about needing to re-record this, and I don't want to be. And I've had a pretty good day today. I had a good day at work. But I just wanted to keep my brain moving and give me some other things to like look at and do, as opposed to the white wall that's like right in front of me. Because I record in a concrete box because that's good for acoustics. It's not. So yeah, there's all of that stuff. I'm gonna smoke this weed now. I hope you're smoking on something. Lord knows I needed to this afternoon / evening, definitely evening. So I hope you're smoking on some too. Cheers, friends. Gosh. Maybe I'll literally take the picture for my Instagram like right now. I'm gonna try and do a live on podcast, which means it's not live at all. Photography session. I'm gonna take a picture while I'm recording this podcast. And so you can know that you listened to it and you were like, whoa, I heard that happen. So this is probably not going to be a good picture, but it is going to be a picture. Maybe I'll do a boomerang. That would be kind of fun. I'm Instagramming, friends. Look at me. Holy smokes, I'm boomeranging. Oh boy. And there. Let's save that to the phone, and then that's what I'm going to post on Instagram today. Great. Oh man, aren't you glad you listened to this weird podcast about a kid getting stoned in his basement? Isn't this so much fun for you? Anyway, let's talk about what I was supposed to talk about today. Where the heck did I put my lighter? There we go. It's karma. We're going to talk about karma, which is hilarious that it was the karma episode that got deleted. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so I was really, really happy with all the things I said about karma the last time I did this episode. And so I don't know, like I might just have this predisposed dissatisfaction with this episode because I feel like I'm not going to live up to the last episode, because I thought the last episode was really, really good. So I'm going to try my best to like hit the same main points and talk about the same things. But if next week's episode comes out, and I'm pretty sure that in next week's episode I referenced back to this week's episode. I don't totally remember that, but I'm pretty sure that's happened. And I did not have time to go and listen through the next episode because I haven't even edited that yet. I just checked to make sure I had the audio. So and to fill all you in, because I guess I have this weird, like, I forgot that you haven't heard the past. I'm leaving for vacation tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going states away to the beach. I'm not even a huge beach person, but I can't take my whole setup with me. And so I'm not going to be able to record a podcast next week. So I had to back-to-back record 2 podcasts. Dude, just talk about the episode. Like, come on. Oh boy. Karma. I want to talk about karma because I had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and we were just talking about how I feel like I have started to live my life around this sort of karmatic idea. And it's kind of this weird amalgamation of the Eastern karma, perhaps the Buddhist karma, the Buddhist definition of karma, because there are many, many definitions of karma. It's really hard to describe. A lot of different cultures and schools of thoughts and religions all have their own beliefs and opinions on karma and define karma in slightly different ways. And so the ways that I have experience with are Buddhist karma, because I took a Buddhism class in college, 1. So let me please clarify that I am a white dude who took one introduction to Buddhism class in college 2 years ago, and now I'm about to talk about Buddhist philosophy. So buckle down for that ride and take everything I say with a grain of salt, I suppose, because there's all the information that I have, which is not very much, I know. So I have that idea of karma, and then I have the more Americanized version of karma, because karma in America has become like a weird mainstream tenet of life. Like everybody mentions karma on Twitter and social media, in cultural media and pop culture. Like karma has become a phrase that is used, a word that is used a lot in American culture. And the definition that we have of karma is very, very, very different than a lot of the traditional Eastern religions or Eastern schools of thought, the Eastern schools of thoughts, opinions, definitions of karma. I lost that sentence there at the end, but hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. I don't know that it will, but basically, there's what karma is according to people who really believe in karma and use karma as a part of their, or consider karma to be a part of their religion, or like thought process, school of thought. I don't know. I'm struggling to describe this. And white people, like the American pop culture version of karma. Not even white people, but just like America. Gosh, I dug myself in a hole I couldn't climb out of. So anyway, karma in my life, I live my life in sort of this like amalgamation between the Buddhist definition of karma and the American definition of karma. And I want to go into a little bit of detail about how those differ and sort of where I sit, because I was having this conversation with a buddy of mine the other day, and I think that this is an incredibly positive change in my life. It is something that I'm really happy that I'm trying to live life this way, and I would like to encourage other people to live life this way too. That's where I'm going. If you sat through the first 12 minutes of this podcast, congratulations, you finally made it somewhere. Thanks for toughing this out with me. I'm going to take another hit of this, and then I'm just going to jump in and talk a little bit about the two definitions of karma that I personally have experience with. So, cheers, friends. One of my buddies lost a lighter in the couch down here in my studio, and we went hunting for his lighter because it looked cool, as you do. And it took us a while to find his lighter, but we did find one of my little baby lighters, and I forgot how much I loved using the little mini Bics. They just fit so much better in my hand. I have tiny hands, and the mini Bics are just so much more comfortable for me. I like large Bics. Yeah, I know, I said it. But the mini Bics just really comfortable, and I'm happy that I have one now. They're much quieter too. Alright, so let's start with the Buddhist side of this. So, I really wish, excuse me, that I had Tweedledoob with me again. Tweedledoob is a cannabis photographer and Instagram influencer who I interviewed a couple episodes ago. Super cool chick. She's great. You should definitely check her out on Instagram and everywhere, and check out that episode if you like. Super cool person. So she studied Buddhist philosophy and Buddhism, and I kind of wish that I had her to talk about this with me, because she would probably know a lot more about it than me. If I would have known I was going to re-record this episode, I would have freaking DM'd her or something. But here we are. Buddhist karma is significantly, karma is something that significantly affects your inner being. So I'm going to give you kind of a very, very surface level, stonered out, quick TLDR of this Buddhist concept. I would encourage you to look farther into it. It's incredibly interesting and very important, and I'm not about to do it justice. I'm not. But here we go. So, in Buddhism, you are reincarnated, but it's not necessarily you. It's this inner being, this inner energy. Not being is the wrong word, but it's this inner existence that carries from life to life, and the actions you have create this karmatic slide that affects your internal existence and your like internal energy, and determines the situations that may occur in the recreation and the rebirth and the reincarnation of your internal energy in another being. I think I did okay. Basically, you got, imagine an inner floating goop. When we were in class, I like to describe it as the Aether from Thor 2. I know it's the most forgettable movie in the MCU, but it's a topical thing. Google it. It's the Energy Stone, I think. Oh, that might be wrong. It's the red one. It's the red Infinity Stone, and I'm being a bad nerd right now. I should know this. But imagine your inner floating goo. Your inner floating goo is separate from your being and from you, but your it is your true existence. It is not tied necessarily to you and your mind and your memories, but your internal existence. It is your truest form of being, and that is what is reincarnated every time that you are like reborn or come into a new life. And in Buddhism, karma affects that existence of you. It affects your internal being and your internal existence, meaning that the outcomes of your karmatic actions may not affect you in this life, but they may affect things that occur or things that come to your internal energy, not only within your reincarnation, but in that life as well. So it's this very long-standing thing, and it creates almost this sliding scale on which you exist as you journey through life in hopes of reaching nirvana. So there's a real harsh TLDR of Buddhism. And I mean, like, I did not do it justice, but if that sounded kind of cool to you and you're interested, I would encourage you to look up more. So you have this concept and that effect on your internal existence, and what it is driven by is not necessarily your actions, but the intent behind your actions. And that is a very important word, like intent. That's very important here. And I'm going to take another hit, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about why. I'm going no clocks on this episode. Like, I've got a timer going, but it's flipped over, and I've turned the clock on my computer screen off. So I'm just focusing on going here. So let me take another hit. I'm sorry if I just took a hit. I don't know time. Cheers. So, your intent drives the karmatic outcome of your action. Meaning that just because you do something, if you didn't do it for just because you do something good, even if you did it for the right reason, holy crap, I botched that. Uno attempt again. Sorry. Just because you did something good, if you did it for the wrong reasons, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will gain good karma. Not that is a phrase that's really true to American, or is really native to American karma. That you'll get good karma. It's not tokens. You don't get karma. It just affects you in your internal existence. In the Buddhist side of things. Again, I'm trying to delineate here. So the action has less to do with your karmatic standing than does your intent. Meaning, not only you have to do good things for the or you have to do good things for the right reasons, but also meaning that if you do bad things but for the right reasons, or you have no negative intent or ill intent behind your actions, then you're not damned in the scale of karma, I suppose, as a way to say that. So the example that our professor gave was that sort of a main tenet of Buddhism is how precious life is, and that all life is precious. And so they're not really into killing as anything, like animals, insects. It's just life is precious, and you should preserve it. And so my professor gave the example of like killing a spider, and that he doesn't like to just kill animal or kill bugs, cease life, just because, or like for no reason. Like if there's a spider in his house, he tries to catch it and get it outside or something like that. But and if you're walking down the street and you just accidentally like step on a bug, it's not like that is the same negative karma that killing a spider in your house would be. Right intention, wrong intention. I hope that clicks. I hope that carries to someone. So that's the Buddhist side of karma. And now the American side of karma, and some generalizations and some things that I think America has done to our definition of karma and the way that has changed. So American karma, like I was saying earlier, it's this like, it's often described as this like token thing. You inherit good karma so you can spend good karma. Like you every time you do a good deed, you get a good karma sticker, and when you get 5 good karma stickers, you get a chocolate bar or something like that. Like then one good thing happens to you. Do 3 good deeds, do your good deed for the day, and then you'll get something. Yeah, it's like this take and give, this exchange rate of karma, if you will. And this idea of like, well, you just do a bunch of good things, and then then you deserve to get good things. And it's much more basic. It's not your internal existence. It's not like doing good things here in life. And I'm not saying American karma as like this is everybody in America. I'm sure that there are people with significantly different views than this in America. I know, I get it. It's not all men, whatever. Like it's this like when I say American karma, what I mean is the definition that is like been adopted in pop culture and in the vernacular in the American culture. I'm sorry if it doesn't apply to you. So this definition that we have, it's not like we are living each day saying, I'm going to do this good thing so that I can be reincarnated in a better life, or so that the actual process of my reincarnation is smoother and better. Like it's not that. It's more of this like, do something good so something good comes back to you, like, and it'll come back hopefully soon and hopefully immediately. Like, every day you do something good and then you find free money. Having a hard time coming up with good examples. I didn't take an introduction to American karma class. I took an introduction to Buddhism class. So I hope that difference is clear, though. And I don't just want to say that American karma is simpler, even though I think that it is. Like, I don't just want to say it that way, because that in a sense downplays the concept of karma and the belief in karma that I think we have in American culture, which I think is still important and I think is still valid and valued by many people. And that's that's I think the next step. Like that's where I want to go next. So I'm gonna take another hit of this. I hope that those differences are clear. If I didn't make them clear, yell at me in the comments or DM me or email me or something. And I would love to talk about it more with you because maybe you know more about this than I do, and I would love to hear about that. So I'm gonna take another hit of this. Cheers. So, when it comes to karma in general, the like good cool thing is that everybody sort of has the main idea that when you do good things, there is a positive outcome. And it's not necessarily like, I don't think you do something good and you automatically get something good back, because not everybody believes that, and everybody holds that opinion on a different level. But like, what everyone agrees on is that when you do good stuff, good things happen. And for some people, that may not even be necessarily for them, but just there's more positive energy in the world, like, and you can get into the butterfly effect and chaos theory with all of this, and how far that this might go. But at the end of the day, everybody agrees that putting positive energy out into the world creates more positive energy and causes more positive things to happen. That to me is the base definition of karma, and like that level is where I like to exist and where I try to sort of govern my existence. To take both sides of that and do good things so that there are more positive things being done in the world. I want to put out positive energy so that there is more positive energy. So we're about to get kind of like deep mind here. Sorry if you're not vibing with it, but if you're not vibing with it, smoke different weed. Then maybe you will be. So I take from the Buddhist side a lot of these ideas of like intent and action, and how your intent in your actions betters your existence in life. It affects you at a core level. And I very much believe that the things you do affect you at a very deep level of existence. I don't necessarily want to make any sort of claims to tie that to reincarnation or afterlife or anything like that. That's not at all where I'm trying to go. I'm just saying that, like, I think that we all exist at a very deep level. Conscious is so complex. You look at the way that, like, what is the existence that controls thought? How do you have to exist physically to, I'm sorry, yeah, like how little do you have to exist physically to still be considered your own individual existence? And what defines the being that controls free thought? What does that exist as? And does it exist in our conceivable world, or is there truly some type of deep soul and existence within that is our guiding processor, our guiding morality? I don't know, but I believe that there is. I personally believe that we have this internal existence. However much value you want to put on that, go ahead, but I think we all have it. And I think that when you do good things, your internal existence experiences positivity. It grows, it becomes better. I don't know, it improves somehow. Doing good things, I think, creates good things within your existence at a very deep level to radiate out into all of the other levels of your existence. I think the more good things you do, the healthier you become, the better you become with making decisions, the more productive a member of society you become. Just everything you do gets better marginally with each little good step you put forward. I think that often we look at improvement as such a wide gap, and like, you look at the ruler of improvement, and our measurements are so spaced, and we put so little value on the space between those measurements, when in reality improvement is infinite. And not only is it infinite in a forward and negative direction, but it is infinite, and the measurements of improvement can be infinitesimal, like just so small, but it's still improvement. You're still getting better. And I think every good deed and every little positive action that we do with positive intent, I think creates that incremental, albeit tiny, improvement within us. And I think that's really important. And so I take a lot of that from Buddhism. But the other thing that I take a lot from American karma is I do believe that you can see those positive outcomes very quickly in the world around you, if you look to appreciate the way that it works and the way that it turns. There's always this like desire for instant gratification in American culture. And I don't think that's a generational thing. I think that's everybody. Honestly, that might not even be American culture. Desire for gratification might just be human nature. I'm not sure, but I think that it's much more present than people claim it to be or like to admit that it is. Like, we all want to see the improvement, or we want to see the outcome of our actions in some way. I mean, everybody, I think, has that thought. And maybe you don't need a pat on the back, maybe you don't need a plaque, maybe you don't need gratification in the sense of people know who you are and what you did, but you still gain something. You get something. And I think we all desire something, even if it is in the sense of like, I just want to see people be happier. I want to see that person smile. I want to help that person. And just seeing those things and seeing those outcomes is enough of a gratification for ourselves. And I think that at the end of the day is what we all seek. We just want what we want, but we all want something. To just super generalize it there, yeah, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to take a hit though. Cheers. So, you gosh, do over. So we have this internal karma, right? We have this internal existence, right? I think, and every good thing we do makes it a little bit better. Yeah. So I like to live my life as best I can to always put out that positive energy, because I think that when you put positive energy out in the world, there's just inherently more positive energy, and things are going to be better. And people are going to help other people. Somebody might pay it forward. Somebody might just smile a little more. It's going to breathe some fresh air into the existence. There's that like old saying, man, I don't even know how old it is. It's not old to me. Life sucks and then you die. And I think that in a way, that's true. Like, everybody's just living till the end. And there's a lot of negative things in everybody's life. Everybody has their own negativity, but the more positive energy you put out there, the more you do to combat that negativity and make it so that life doesn't suck the whole time and then you die. Like, there's just everything you put out increases the positivity of the world. And so anytime that you have the ability to do something good and increase, I suppose, that karma, or earn that karma, I think that there is positive that comes back to you. And that's just the way that I try to live my life, to do things when I can because they will help or because they are good. Like, I just try to sort of govern my life in that way. And I think that that's something that's really helpful to me. And I was having this conversation with a buddy of mine a couple weeks ago, and um, I've said a lot of really like deep type things in this episode. I don't really align with any like organized religion. That's not really my vibe. But that camp that I talk about sometimes that I work at is a Christian camp because I went there a lot as a kid. And I might have talked about this in another episode. I don't totally know. But I went to this camp as a kid, and it was important to me because I learned a lot about life there, not because I learned a lot about Jesus there. It's just a lot of like, you learn a lot of life at these camps, and it's crucial, I think, to still encourage life learning, whether or not you align with every single thing that everybody says there. Because one of the things that I was talking about with my buddy is how this karmatic lifestyle and living this good karma is very similar to the ideas of Christianity. Because I mean, he knows he's on his way to seminary. He's a great dude, and I wish him all the best because I think that he'll be a great pastor, and I think he'll like teach people a lot about life and give people a lot of hope in life, and I think that's great. But he knows that he's never going to convert me or anything like that, or bring me into his congregation, because we're just two different types of people. But we were talking about this, and I was telling him about this whole like karmatic belief that I have, and he was like, "That's just, that's so similar to the ideas that Christianity holds to a very like at a very base level, like when you do good things, when you live the life of like live in a Christ-like way, live a Christian lifestyle, like when you do the right things by the Christian morality, then your standing with God improves. I grew up going to church. I spent a lot of time going to church. So I have a lot of background in all this. I have actually a lot more background in Christianity than I do in Buddhism. I try to do right by all religions when I explain them, even if I don't have a ton of information about them. But I could talk about Christianity as like someone who knows a decent amount about it. So follow me here for a second. But like, because I think that I have some audience members who are far away from church, and that's totally cool. No judgment at all. I just don't want you to lose me because I'm gonna drop the word Jesus a couple times here. But like, you do good things, you live this Christian lifestyle, and it improves your standing in the eye of God. You are living by God's will and living by Jesus' teachings, and that will earn you your way into heaven. It is not what every single Christian believes, but a pretty huge chunk. And he was telling me we were talking about that those ideals, that ideology is so similar, and it's not. He wasn't trying to say like, oh, well, you're just talking about this Christian thing, or that it's exactly the same. But we were just saying that like these are two majorly different schools of thought that have the same central idea of do positive things and the world gets better, and your world gets better, and your existence improves. And we were talking about that, and I think we both kind of realized in this conversation that it's weird to say that we like to live our lives in that way, because that seems like such a natural way that people should be living their life. It seems like such yeah, of course you would do good things. It seems weird to think that people would willfully do bad things or do things with ill intent, but at the end of the day, the world isn't perfect, and that happens. And so part of the reason I want to do this episode is just to say, like, I think it's worth it to live this lifestyle and do it for whatever reason you want. If you want to get really into Buddhism, I would encourage you to do so. If you want to get really into Christianity, I would encourage you to do so. Follow the things you love, follow your passions, follow things that vibe with the way you think about life. If it is something that vibes with the way your brain works, then I would encourage you to get involved with it. And I would never discourage someone from learning more about a belief system that they feel vibes with them until it starts to negatively affect other people. That's where I draw the line. As soon as you pursue a belief system that negatively affects other people, or exists to negatively affect other people or takes action to negatively affect other people, you done. To quote Nicole of Nailed It, which I binge watched the other night and is great. Yeah, that's where I draw the line. If you were curious, I do have a line and I do draw it there. But, whatever reason that you want to take to say, I think I want to do good things to help the world get better. That's the life I think you should take. That's the life I would encourage you to take because it's doing pretty okay for me. And I dig it a lot. And I think that the whole world would be better if everybody was to do that. Yeah, I'm going to smoke some more. I'm almost done here, so I'm actually going to smoke, and then I'm probably going to, do the outro part of the episode. Cheers, friends. Well, that's going to about do it for me. I was talking to my buddy Josh. Well, I wasn't talking to him. He popped through my live stream on Instagram, and he was saying, don't try to recreate the past. Just make this the best version of make this the best version. And I'm pretty happy with the way this came out. I think I went a much different way than I did on the last time I did this because I had fleeting memories here and there, but I'm still pretty happy with it. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. It was pretty deep and kind of philosophical, and I don't know if that really vibes with people, but I think it's kind of what I've been trying to get to all along with this podcast. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Sorry that it's been kind of hectic and all over the place, but I hope it was fun. So yeah, that's that. I hope also that next week's episode makes sense because, like I said, I pre-recorded it, and I pre-recorded next week's episode referencing heavily on the first time that I recorded this episode. So next week's episode is wonk. I'm sorry, but I'm about to leave for the beach and I don't have time to redo it. But I'm going to go to the beach now, and I need that more than anything. So not next week, but the week after, I'll tell you about how it is. I hope that all is well for you. I hope that things continue to be well for you. And I hope that you try to make things well for other people, because I think that's important. So I'm gonna leave now. Cheers. My name is GLDLX. This has been Sesh Cast. Thank you so much for listening.